All right, so I caught Southern Pines. I caught Southern Pines hole 4 par 4, and then I caught one of the par 3s. I played for an hour on Thursday, and I posted a video, and then I played for another hour. Didn't get a single Southern Pines hole. Then I played 2 hours on Friday. Didn't get a single Southern Pines hole in 2 hours in a shootout or in a regular play. I played for 40 minutes this morning, and I didn't get a single Southern Pines hole. And I got on, and I did get 2 holes back to back. So let's check out this par 3. So this par 3 right here, it's been slightly reconfigured. One of the things that they did here is they opened up the rough bump. So coming at it in our traditional sense, it's about the same. So coming at it from this direction right here, I don't know that I noticed that big of a difference coming in from over here. It does seem like there's a little bit more of a shelf right in that area, but it doesn't seem to be playing that much different than it normally did. Now, from where my opponent hit, when you get way up on this hill face up here, there is a shelf up here that you can get caught up in. And they may have changed that shelf a little bit, but the hole seems like it plays about the same that direction. And one of the things they did open up, the last few times we've had this in a tournament, I've been practicing the rough bump, and the rough bump here has been a lot steeper. So in the past, this rough bump was very steep coming up, and then you were up on the green, and it was very difficult to do it. There really wasn't any. Basically, what the rough bump was before was the second cut of the rough. It was super narrow, but they have flattened it out down here a little bit where we do have a rough bump. So you can see how where my rings are getting into the sand, how they're distorted. So like look at the width right here of my rings, and then look at the width right here of my rings. So really it's about, here we've got a ring, and here if we counted the blue, it's really about a ring and a quarter, maybe a ring and a third. So there is some distortion coming into it. So a 5.9 wind, and I'm going to do just a straight up adjustment and not do anything other than just a straight up adjustment. So looking at, wanted to see like where I was at in my club. Let me get this set up. So if I do a 5-9 pull here and I count all of the ring, we're distorted. So if you follow this line here across and you come at it, my rings are distorted when they're in the sand. So I'm trying to compensate for that distortion in the rings. Now what you could do is start off up here and then use this outside line as your pulling point instead of doing it the way that I'm doing it here. But I'm kind of eyeballing it and trying to establish like where this ring would be if it came through and compensate for that distortion. But I'm going to do a 5.9 adjustment. And just do a straight up. With this tailwind on these types of rough bumps, man, you really got to get your, but you can see where I hit just a little bit back. So I did kind of an over pull there, trying to get it to bleed up towards the hole. I think what I would have needed to do there if I wanted to have enough speed to get up is I would have had to run a little bit of topspin on it so that I went farther up the hill so that when it came back down, it rolled out a little bit better. But that rough bump right there on that hole is something that before just taking that shot as kind of a, just something to have fun when we were out there. It was not a viable shot. I would never have shot that rough bump in a tournament, but that is now, I think, going to be a viable way to go at it. And with the success that I've had on that hole in the past, I do not look at this hole as being a high percentage hole in one type hole. But if that rough bump is opened up, depending on which way the wind's blowing, it could be a very viable way to go for hole in one. All right, that was hole number 2, par 3 of Southern Pines. Just kind of looking at the changes. Really on the hole, I don't see a lot of changes. They may have shortened it up a little bit. They did shorten it up a little bit, because before with a low level ball, you couldn't get up to the rough up there to do that rough bump. You were right on the transition between your wood and your driver. And if you had a low level ball, you were going to be in your driver. If you had a bigger power ball, you were going to be in your wood. But they've shortened the hole up a little bit, and they have flattened that area out for the rough bump. All right, just some of the changes on hole number 2, par 3 of Southern Pines. Thanks for watching.